A number of Western nations are set to agree a timetable to train Ukrainian pilots to fly Western jets, including F-16s, at a meeting in Brussels. Well, we've heard just a short time ago from the NATO Secretary-General Jens Stoltenberg, who has more on this.
Ukraine has launched a counter-offensive. What we see is fierce fighting. It's still early days, but we also see that the Ukrainians are making gains and that Ukraine is able to liberate occupied land. This is due to the courage, the bravery, the skills of the Ukrainian soldiers, but it also highlights and demonstrates that the support NATO allies have been giving to Ukraine now for many months actually makes a difference on the battlefield as we speak. So one of the main issues we will address is how to sustain and step up the support to Ukraine.
While speaking at that NATO meeting, the United States Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin said the US will support Ukraine for the long haul.
The United States is proud to stand alongside some 50 nations of goodwill to provide Ukraine with the training and the equipment to help it succeed on the battlefield. Throughout the Kremlin's vicious war of choice, the Ukrainian forces have shown outstanding bravery and skill. And Ukraine's fight is a marathon and not a sprint. So we will continue to provide Ukraine with the urgent capabilities that it needs to meet this moment, as well as what it needs to keep itself secure for the long term from Russian aggression. And make no mistake, we will stand with Ukraine for the long haul.
Let's speak live now to our correspondent Mayeni Jones, who is in Kyiv. Hi, Mayeni. Well, those words will be very welcomed by President Zelensky, won't they? A reiteration of US and NATO support for the long haul for Ukraine.
Yeah, absolutely. Many analysts have been saying that this battle will be won by the side that is able to keep fighting for the longest time, to continue to have supplies. And I think those words from NATO will reassure Ukrainians that on that front they will continue to get the support of their allies. Already we've seen this week the US has pledged more security assistance to Ukraine, about $325 million worth of ammunition, of vehicles and of tanks. Other allies have also pledged their continued support for Ukraine. This is, as the head of Secretary General of NATO said, they're very early days in this counter-offensive, so a lot more support is going to be needed in the coming months if the Ukrainian forces are to succeed in recapturing territory from Russia.
They're looking at pictures of F-16, something that Ukraine desperately wants, and they're going to be talking about that at today's NATO meeting as well, aren't they?
Yeah, the Ukrainian defense minister said amongst the delegation he's taken with him are Air Force pilots and officers who will be talking about the level of training that they've got. They've also got engineers to talk about, what airplanes they're able to maintain, because that's crucial. Not only do you need the airplanes, but you need pilots who are able to maneuver them, to pilot them. You need engineers that can maintain them. There has already been a discussion of starting a training program for pilots, Ukrainian pilots, this summer. It does take several years to maneuver, to learn how to maneuver these planes. It's not clear what time frame this training session is going to take, but that's going to be part of what's going to be discussed today.
Tell us about the fighting overnight. What's the latest from the situation on the ground in Ukraine?